I got you. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ceejay Scott Podcast. It's episode 24. Hey, and I got my co-host to the to the left, to the right of me. Anyway,
Whatever
G
side
Walker,
you
what's
want me to
going
be
on,
on, man.
man? What's going on,
Blessings,
G?
bro. Blessings, man.
Hey, how was your weekend, man?
Hey, man, the weekend was good, man. You know, just a lot of work, family stuff, man. Stuff don't stop. Took the kid to see Sonic 2, et cetera, man. Building what we building, bro. So I'm excited about, what I'm saying, what we going on. So, man, how was your weekend, though, man?
And my weekend was good, man. A little bit rainy. Had some little stuff to do with the missus. We went out. She bought a couple things to decorate the bathroom with, so she about to go do her thing with that. So everything is all good, man.
I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh yeah, for sure. But tonight we got a lot going on. We're gonna have a special guest coming up. We're gonna be bringing him in shortly. We're also gonna be talking about the Chicago Bears draft picks. We're also gonna be talking about the Chicago Bulls and their playoffs and them being eliminated. We're gonna get into all that tonight. But
hey, I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
We ain't gonna hold y'all up. We're gonna bring our special guest on right now. He's gonna introduce himself to y'all. So let's go ahead. Let's bring him in. Hey, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on?
Nothing much. Welcome to the Ceejay Scott Podcast. We're happy to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure.
All right.
Welcome, bro. Welcome, man. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Most definitely, yeah. And just in case the people don't know who you are, why don't you introduce yourself to them? Uh-oh. Yeah, I think you got a little bit of technical difficulties. Yeah, you got to unmute your mic.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. So my name is Bernard Scott. I am the video coordinator for Euler's women's basketball team. That's me. I'm also the cousin of Ceejay Scott. The person whose podcast this is. So big shouts out to him. And G Walker as well, man. Shouts out to y'all for having me, man. I appreciate y'all.
Man, we're glad to have you here, man. Glad to have you, man. Blessings, man.
Appreciate it. But Bernard, since you mentioned that, we got to take it back a little bit to see how you pretty much got into that position that you're in right now. Okay. So let's take it back to high school. Did you go out and try out for the basketball team? Did you go in as a walk-on? How did that come about?
So high school was my 9th grade year and my 10th grade year. My 9th grade year, I played basketball and football. Okay. And I also was on varsity as well. But I didn't get on varsity until maybe my 11th grade year. I didn't play much in high school. I didn't really know how good I could be in high school until I got out of high school. I didn't take sports serious. I was more of a follower than a leader.
Okay.
But like being a follower taught me how to lead. So
Absolutely, it all works. Yeah. It all works.
Okay. And as you said, you didn't get into it until pretty much after high school. So. How did that come about next as far as you getting into the sports then? Did you go into a college? What college did you go to? How did you get started with that?
All right. So after graduation, I went to a community college. It was called Arkansas State in BB, Arkansas. Okay. And they didn't have a basketball team, nothing like that. But I would just go play pickup every day, and I was able to get access to like weights and just had access to a gym 24/7. I can go walk to the gym whenever I wanted to. So I was just in there working on my game and lifting. So eventually it got time to where we just play pickup every day right after classes around 1 o'clock, and it was just easy. It was just easy buckets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So access. Young men and young women. That kind of go to the wayside in society. They need resources. So do you think that the resource and just the availability for you to be able to play ball is what, when you wanted to, whenever you could, do you think that's what catapulted your talent with your work ethic?
Yeah, I do think so. But I also would say this though. I think for some people, some kids don't realize how good they can be. And some kids need a push. Like I know some parents say that kids, if they're passionate about it, then they'll just do it. They'll actually about it. But some kids, some kids need to be pushed. Some kids need to be, shown what it takes to get to a certain level if they're serious about it. So I think that was a lot to do with it. And I do think that resource wise, I do think if I would have had access to resources like somebody training me and working me out every day, then yeah, I definitely would have got at least a scholarship to go to college and play ball for sure.
Yeah. So do you think it's like it's a balancing act of confidence?
Oh,
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I do. I think so. Well, go ahead. I want you to ask a question. You said a balancing act about confidence.
Yeah, balancing act of confidence and resources. Like you got the confidence and you got the resources, but it's like, can I do it or not? So did you think that it was coming to a point to where everything was like, I don't know if I can still do it, or it was like, no, I got the resources now, my confidence through the roof, or did it still take you a time to still be confident? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what happened was, I think the confidence grew along with the work ethic. Like the more work you put in, the more confident you'll be. The more you believe in yourself, because I'm working X amount of hours, I'm putting in X amount of work, so it's gonna show. Eventually, it's gonna show. It has to show. And hard work, confidence comes from hard work. You let me tell it. So any kid that's uber confident, what I mean, or playing any sport, I think it comes from hard work, putting in a lot of work.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. And a couple things before we continue, Coach. Welcome.
What's going on, fellas?
Glad you was able to come through. Also, we're gonna leave a couple of comments right now. For some of y'all who don't know, yes, I do have a sister. This is her. She's saying, "What's up, cousin? What's going on?"
Hey, Shannon.
Hey.
Love the support from the fam.
Yep, and of course, she's saying what's up to the brother, and of course, she like to put her little hashtag. She got this. She always got that hashtag for me every time. But sister, appreciate you stopping by. I hope you feel better too. I hope you feel better. I know you weren't feeling well today, so hopefully you got everything situated with that. But all right, pretty much I want to get into now. I know you guys were talking about as far as you're coming up now, but how did you get to the college? I even forgot the name of it, so you had to probably say it again.
It's Euler or it's Little Rock.
Okay, we're just gonna say Little Rock.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Little Rock. Right?
Yeah, we're just gonna stick with Little Rock. So how did you get to Little Rock? Because I know that's probably that's a pretty big school in the state of Arkansas. So how did you get to that school? Was able to pretty much get into the program that you are right now.
Coach, hold on, Coach, mute your mic. I can hear all the noise in the background, Coach.
Oh, my bad.
Whatever you're hitting.
So I got to Euler. Long story short, I applied for the job online and Indeed. They were looking for a video coordinator. So that's how I got the job. I applied online, and maybe the next day, their director of operations, Rihanna DeGray, shout out Ray, because if it wasn't for her, I would never got that job. So Rihanna DeGray, she interviewed me, and they brought me in maybe like a week later, and brought me in to meet all the coaches, and said, yeah, like it's yours if you want it.
So what have you learned, as a player to now you're doing the video coordinator thing? Like, what do you see from the game as far as like, oh wow, like do you see anything totally different from when you were playing?
Not really. I think the thing for being like when she was in college athletics for so long, or like video coordinator around these coaches for so long, you kind of view basketball differently. Like you don't just watch basketball. Like you like. Now I kind of like break down basketball whenever I'm watching the game. Like, oh, this person, they run a split action, or they're running, they setting down screens trying to get this person up. But just I view it as from a coach's standpoint, and I break the game down as far as me just watching the game, just to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was awesome, man. Awesome. Good news. I'm glad to hear all of that. Congrats on the job, man. The babies and everything. Blessings to you and your family, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate that, seriously.
Yeah, man. You got a long road ahead of you, but you got a good head on your shoulders, man. I can tell, bro. Just keep grinding, bro. It all pays off in the end, man. Trust it. All pays off in the end. Hard work, Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, most definitely. And you guys heard what he said. You pretty much, took the initiative to make, to go apply for the job, go online, apply for it, get the interview process submitted. A lot of people, I think sometimes they want the job to come to them instead of going out and go get it. That takes initiative. That takes just hard work, initiative, and just wanting to do something. So big ups for you for that. Because I really want to get into how did you get to that position? Because a lot of people coming in, like you hear about the coaches, they go through the same position that you went through as far as coaching, going into video coordinator, other positions, going through college and moving up through the ranks. And that's another question I want to ask you. As far as you're doing the video coordinator, have you ever thought about maybe going to coaching? Is that something that you want to get into?
Yeah, so video coordinator is, in my opinion, is like it's part of my process, So like I'll give you an example. Like I was a student manager at Arkansas State for 2 years there, and then I got the job here at University at Euler. So I kind of got to see it from every level, like from the lowest of low, from doing laundry, from filling up water bottles, giving players that nature. Yeah, no, for real, legit. So I started from that level, and then the video coordinator to me is like a step up. It's almost like a GA in the sense, like GA video coordinator. It's kind of like almost the same thing, in my opinion.
Okay, so I was going to ask the same question because I know in football they call them graduate assistants. So I was going to ask, is that the same kind of segue between the two jobs from basketball and football?
Pretty much, in a sense. Every program is different though. Every program has a different way of doing like video coordinator and GA. So like it depends on the coaching staff and how they want to do it. But in my opinion, GA and video coordinator is kind of like just about the same thing. You pretty much like ground level, and your job is to just do your job, and learn. Legit, like do your job and learn while you're doing your job. And I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I learned, like I can spot. I can go look at a high school kid right now and be like, yo, that kid is gonna be good. You know what I mean? Or I can be like, nah, that kid is a Division II kid. I mean, just from watching.
Oh man, that's where you're gonna come in handy at. So when my son's in AAU basketball right now, so he's 13 years old and he's 7th grade. So I'm gonna be sending you footage in the near future, man. Stand by.
Send it to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What team does he play for?
He plays for a team called HD Hooperdemics in Chicago. It's like the top rated AAU team out here, like on the north side of Chicago.
Oh, so he a bucket then. That's what that means.
Yeah, he getting there, man. But I love to get another voice eventually. You know what I mean? And another eyes at his talent, man. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, send me some stuff, man. Definitely.
Absolutely.
I love watching film. I got some film to watch here in a minute. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I have a question. That is that also the process of you in your job? Do you watch film on the high school kids or AAU kids, stuff like that? Besides watching film on like upcoming opponents and practice film or game film for the school?
Right. So I'll give you like my day to day. So day to day, what I do is I'll break down film for coach. Like typically, what I'm supposed to be doing is filming practice. Taking practice, uploading it to Vision, and then coach will break it down. But once he found out that I can play a little bit, I don't really film no more. I practice every day, pretty much. So I practice, and somebody else will film, and then I'll upload it for him. But like also I'll do game wise. So game wise, film and he'll just upload the film for Coach Foley, and he'll break it down, and I'll set it up. And yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. Like now, as far as high school kids, like I'm not allowed to like recruit or anything like that. So no, I can't like watch a kid and be like, go out and get a kid. No, but right now what I'm doing is they have me inside of the portal, right, looking for kids who are in the portal.
Oh, okay.
Who who could possibly.
So lower level or guys who are trying to transfer.
Right. So
okay.
So the portal pretty much is kids who are looking to transfer.
Right.
Even if it's like the portal has all types of kids, Division II kids, JUCO kids, and just Division I kids. So our goal is to find kids who could possibly fit our system, because we run a motion offense, who could fit our system. And that's what I'm doing right now, looking for kids in the portal and just giving them names, and they'll look at them, check them out, and see if they want them or not.
That's an interesting dynamic. I know we brought them up, but a couple of shows ago we were talking about the Bulls and some talent they had on their roster and that they let go. The kid from Miami, who's actually from Illinois, he went to I think he went to Shepherd or Stagg. He started off at a lower level, and then he ended up going to DePaul.
I know you're talking about his name.
He ended up being a starter this year. He plays defense, good 3-point shooter. I heard an interview with him, which made me look him up. It starts with an S. Oh, crud. I can't even think of the kid's name. Well, I call him.
He plays on Miami?
Yeah, he plays on Miami. He's actually a starter. He starts. I think he starts like at the 3.
He played for Miami. I thought he still played for the Bulls.
He was on the Bulls 2 seasons ago. Played a couple games. He went to Boston. It didn't work out.
Or what is this dude's name?
Boston. Miami.
Matt. I think his first name is Matt. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Matt or Max.
Max. Yeah, Max.
Oh, it's
Max,
like Max. Like
Stuckley or something.
Like yeah,
not Stuckley. When I get it, I'll let y'all know. But he was a kid who was at a lower level of basketball, and he said I was listening to an interview he had done with Dan Levitar, since Dan is based out of Miami, and essentially he was just saying that he was at a lower level. He never thought he would play super high level of basketball, not even pros. He was just like, I thought it was okay. I didn't really do a lot in high school, but then my senior year, when I got good, he was like, okay, I could play at the next level. The next level ended up being, I think, like a Division II school. And he said that after his freshman and sophomore year, he was like, yo, I think I have really potential. He ended up going, I think he walked onto DePaul, and he ended up being really good at DePaul. And then, of course, he was an unsigned free agent, spent some time in the G League, and then he kind of went, of course, from the Bulls, who brought him in because he's a hometown kid, and then Boston, which he thought he was going to click with Boston, and then Miami, and he credited the Miami coaching staff for helping him extend his range at the 3-point line, and now he's been starting for Miami since maybe the halfway through the basketball year this year. But he was a local kid who started, not even being a guy who was even recruited by any when football kind of Power 5, but like the top tier, top 50, top 35 Division I schools, to being a starter in the NBA. And he started literally from just being a kid who was like, I thought it was okay as a basketball player, but do my work ethic and grind. And guys like that slip through the cracks all the time, So there you go, Struz.
Max Struz, yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And before we continue, we're gonna get into some of these comments real quick. Got a couple of comments up here. We got Amon Scott saying, hey, little bro, definitely been a bucket. So,
that's the new term now.
Yeah, I guess that's the new term. And then we got a question from, hey, cousin, I'm not going to pronounce that. I know who you are. I'm not going to pronounce that, but this is Harold. This is Amon's older brother. He says, hey, Mr. Bernard, any tips on how to grow my beard like yours?
I don't have no tips, man. I think either you got it or you don't.
Oh.
Hey.
Either you got it or you don't. I don't have no tips, man.
And you know what? I'm not mad at you. I'm 37 and I don't have it. I
don't know.
The genetics, man.
And we can't relate. We can't relate.
You say you can't relate.
Yeah, me and my man right here, we can't relate to that, man. You know what I'm saying? We got it going on right now.
Yeah,
my beard is a C average.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you had a patchy joint? And your joint patchy?
Yeah, it ain't much of nothing, man. It's average. Yeah.
Okay.
It's mediocre.
That's funny.
Yeah, I cut mine's down. Mine was out, and I cut it all down and shaped it up. So it's coming back though. It's gonna eventually come on back. But we got another comment from Frank Marshall, saying, "What's up, everybody?"
What up, Frank?
What up, Frank? What's going on? And then Frank with another comment. He says, "G Walker, got a damn good beard too. My beard is gray." Ain't no problem with that.
Either you got it or you don't, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh man, but Bernard, man, just the fact that you're in the position that you're in, I think says a lot. It says a lot about your work ethic as a person. It says a lot about you as a human being, and as far as you conduct yourself and having a good head on your shoulders. What would the advice be for people that's maybe want to get into coaching and maybe wants to go to the college level? I know you've been around the coaches before. I know you probably did a lot of studying on them. What would your advice to be for somebody who's trying to get into college coaching as far as basketball concerned?
Well, my advice would be to start as young as possible. I mean, if you can start as young as possible, that's what's best, because the quicker you get your foot in the door, the better, because the quicker you can get around great basketball minds. So if you really want to coach, you should try to start off ground level. Like, just get your foot in the door, even if that means you got to be a student manager. Do it. Like, put the groundwork in. Like, work, clean up sweat, do laundry, fill water bottles. Because while you're doing that, what you don't know is you subconsciously you learning from this great basketball mind as a head coach. So and I will say this. The more consistent you are with it, like, the more you stick with it, you're gonna realize, like, you may not feel like you're getting it right away, but I'm telling you, 2, 3 years, 4 years, you'll realize. So I'm actually really starting to learn how to, break down basketball. Maybe not as good as the head coach, but you starting to get it. You're starting to
you developing your
starting
craft.
to see what they see. You starting to view it from how they view it. So I say just start. Just get your foot in the door. Like, do what you gotta do to get your foot in the door. Like, coaches respect people who can. Like, I tell you what, I became a student manager at A-State by just walking into the office. Like, yo, this is my resume. My name is Bernard Scott. I coached a 16U AAU team. 16U AAU team last summer, and I want to be a student manager, and eventually I want to be a coach. Cool. And the head coach told me, cool, I'll pay 25% of your tuition as well.
That's what's up,
bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, so it's you just get your foot in the door, man. If you're serious about it, get your foot in the door and stick with it. Like, consistency is key. And I will say this: you may have to sacrifice financially for a minute, but it's gonna pay off.
Hey, but that's life, though, man. Life is full of sacrifices, man.
It's gonna pay off.
Exactly.
I promise it's gonna pay off.
Exactly.
I personally, that's the only fear I have, because my ultimate goal for me since I left college was to become a college football coach, and the bare minimum for me not being able to reach is that I didn't finish my degree. So now, as being a family man, and whenever I finish my degree, which is my goal within the next 2-3 years, is that regression on when you have to start from that ground level. Like, I'm getting back into coaching high school and working my way up from that, being already close to being 40, is even being younger, you have more of a room for that error, for that financial, like taking that hit financially. Like, I'll do the grunt work compared to by the time I really want to get in the door, I'll be already 40 years old. I'll have a few kids, that whole family thing. And that's always in the back of my mind. Like, man, I need to start boosting that, my timeline up of finishing things, like getting my bachelor's and stuff like that. But by all means, I mean, but I knew that once I struggled finishing school, my 20s was people who, if you're, once you leave college, becoming a graduate assistant or doing that grunt work is always going to have that leg up, because you got more time to build up that tutelage of being around coaches, being around players, doing that work that you need to do, and taking kind of, that quote unquote grunt work, being a GA or being at your level, doing the small things that build you up through your career. So by all means, people who start from that ground level, man, I always respect to the guys who started as GAs and that lower level, because they stayed focused enough to do that work, to build themselves up. Even a guy at the NBA level like Eric Spoelstra, who people talked crap about, like, who the hell is this guy? Yeah. He was like, well, he's the film guy. And people to this day will tell you that Eric Spoelstra is probably one of the top 3 coaches schematically in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And that guy wasn't a quote unquote ex-NBA player. So
yeah. But I'll tell you this, like, you said like, yeah, you'll have to sacrifice, but like, if you really want to coach at the college level, bro, I'm telling you now, you need to just go, like, volunteer right. At college. I'm telling you, and if you working hard, if you grinding, the coaches they noticing, like, they want people on their staff they can trust, and people who gonna work hard, bro.
Exactly.
So if you seriously want to go and coach college ball, just go to the office of wherever you at. Like I'm telling you, and just say I want to volunteer. I'll pick up balls. Whatever you need me to do, I'll go. Put down the paint. Out just whatever you need. I'm telling you, they want it, bro. They want somebody who gonna work hard. And once somebody see your work ethic, bro, somebody's always noticing.
Always watching.
So
somebody's always watching.
If you seriously want to coach college football, just go to a college, bro, and just volunteer. Just volunteer. And trust me, see what happens. Just watch what happens. As long as you working hard and you volunteer, I promise you, just watch what happens. They gonna notice it, bro. And then I'll tell you this. Let's say you volunteer and word of mouth spreads fast, bro. Let's say, all right, let's say, I'll just say your name, say Chef. So let's say Chef, the head coach could be like, yeah, man, I got this ball boy, Chef, man. And I'm telling you what, he comes in every day, he does blah, 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 blah. And he you gotta realize these guys talk to
other coaches
every day, bro. Multiple coaches a day. So word of mouth spreads, bro. It spreads quick.
I appreciate that. But and that goes the same when you're a player. That it always trickles down from when you're a player. We used to tell players, man, especially when I was getting recruited, or even kids now when I coached high school football several years ago, it's like you never know who's going to find you. You always have to be grinding, whether it's on film, whether it's in practice. You don't know who's watching. You could be some guy that you don't know to be like, hey, we're going to give this kid a shot at whatever level of football or whatever level at any sport. You always have to grind hard, especially if they're watching tape. A guy as a film guy, you say you're watching a specific guy in the transfer portal, but maybe you see tape and you see a guy who is not the feature guy on the film. You're like, hey, this kid over here, he don't get a lot of minutes, but it's something about him. He's doing these particular things that we like for our program. Hey, why don't we get some more tape on this particular kid? People are always watching, so I see that from that aspect as well, from even being as a player. So yeah, that's always a thing to keep in mind, man. I appreciate that though.
Yeah, definitely.
Most definitely. And one more thing, if there's any family or friends out there of Bernard that's watching this video, do not forget to hit that like button. We need them likes.
Please,
we need them.
Get that like up, man. We need that algorithm.
Most definitely. We're gonna get into a couple more comments. Frank Marshall mentioning hell is hard on Kuzma and Fire. Yeah, we're gonna get into that a little bit later. Frank, we're gonna get into that a little bit later. Most definitely. And,
Cruz got fired, man.
Cruz fired from the Bears organization for punching a reporter. Yeah, we'll get into that. I heard about that today.
Really? Adam Hogue too? From Adam? Oh wow, bro! I was just watching the video they did like a day ago on the pigs. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. We're gonna get into that, Frank. Trust me, we got it. And
yo, I need to see that.
But Bernard, one more. I gotta ask you another thing, and this is going into playoffs. This is going to the NBA playoffs.
Okay.
Who is your favorite team going into the playoffs?
Going into the playoffs or right now?
Oh, right now.
The team I like the most, is for the Bucks. I like the Bucks look good, and the Warriors look really good too.
Telling you, man.
But the Bucks, man, the Bucks is a lot of people. They quiet about them Bucks right now. I don't know why, but hey, the Bucks look good to me. The Warriors look good too, but the Bucks is who I really like right now.
I got the Bucks in the finals again, man. I keep telling people, y'all think it's sweet that their roster ain't turnover, bro. When they turn that bad boy on, we even see it being Bulls fans. We said I said we all predicted on the show pre the series that we picked the Bucks in 5. Right. But also, I'm like, if the Bucks come out and steamroll the Bulls in the first 2 games, it's going to be a sweep. And they didn't. The first game was close. They let the Bulls win that game. It was close, but the Bulls pretty much had the game, the whole game. Yeah. But once they were like, okay, we got to stop playing with them, they turned that on. That bench turned it on. Even without Middleton, they turned that on, and none of the 3 games were even close.
Yeah,
exactly.
And now dealing with Boston, being the fact that Boston is one of the more superior defensive team. Now you have Drew Holiday came out and led all scorers yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, but the day before yesterday. So the Bucks are still the favorite for me in the East, hands down.
Me too. I mean, the Nets. I think they would have. If the Nets would have had Ben Simmons, then maybe not. But the Bucks is who I have coming out the East right now, for sure.
Yeah, man, it's like the Bucks. They have all the qualities that you need in a team. You got a big man, 6'11", getting the paint. athletic, dunk over everybody. You got them outside shooters.
Bro.
They got legit shooters on their squad.
It's the way that they put their team together, bro. Like, all right, yeah, you could pack the paint against Giannis, but okay, if you pack this paint, I'm gonna put 2-3 shooters on this. And you know what's crazy? They got the 5 that they 1 through 5 can shoot, but the only person that can't shoot consistently threes is Giannis. 1 through 5, the corner threes, and a big man that's trailing all the time.
Yeah, right. The center. He'll knock down some corner threes too. Yeah. Another part of his game that he developed later in his career, because he was a true theoretical. When him and his brother came in, he was the more talented brother. But Lopez came in as being a quote unquote traditional center, 16 feet and in post game, and now he's developed that 3-point. Same thing with Vooch, but I think that Lopez is an overall better center than Vucevic in totality of their game.
Yeah,
but
he's more versatile for sure.
Yeah,
and
much better defensively.
Okay. Well, Bernard, we appreciate you for stopping by. We're not gonna hold you up. We know you're in the hospital. You gotta get to them daddy duties. You
expecting two?
No, I just had twins.
Oh, congrats! Well, what? Congratulations! Not expecting you officially. These your first?
No, this is my second and third. I have a daughter who's 1 year old, so. Yeah,
okay. Congratulations anyway. I think Guy, when's your newborn due, Guy?
This ain't got nothing to do with me, man. This about don't worry about me, man.
My bad. I got one due in June, man. So my second son.
You having a boy or a girl?
But it'll be my son. It'll be my second son. I'll have a 5-year-old now, and I got another one due in June.
No, but my wife doing June, man. We doing June, man. June.
Okay.
That's man. A little girl, man.
All right. Well, again, Bernard, we appreciate you for stopping by, bro. We definitely gonna bring you back. I definitely want to hear about the progress you're going through, and man, just best of luck to you and everything that you're doing, man. And again, congratulations to you and the twins, your entire family. We wish you the best. And man, take it easy, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
Thank y'all, bro.
All right, man.
I appreciate y'all for having me on, man. Yo, and if y'all want, when season comes around, let me know, man. Maybe I can pick y'all up with interview some of the girls on the team.
Okay. Yeah, most definitely. I keep that in mind, man. But Bernard, thanks again, man. Appreciate your cousin. Glad to see you again, and definitely we'll talk to you soon, man.
God bless, bro. God bless.
All right,
best of luck.
All right.
All right, fellas. All right, but that was Bernard there. Hold on. Took coach off. But yeah, man, that was Bernard. I appreciate everybody who sat there and tuned in, man. I definitely like his take, and that was definitely interesting. How how he went about going to get the job, going and applied himself, going to doing the interview, man. And people got, if you want something, you got to go get it.
The name of the game is grinding. You got to put in that work.
That was great. Exactly. That was great. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. You're good.
Yeah, that was great, man. But good young dude, man. Got a hell of a future, man. He got a hell of a future.
Oh yeah, man. It's crazy, man. And all his brothers right there, those guys are very good at what they do. They're very good at what they do. I gotta say, give a shout out to their mom, to their to their stepfather. I gotta give a shout out to them because they raised 3 very good great men as far as how they carry themselves, as far as what they do. They're very well respected of other people. So I definitely gotta give a shout out to my aunt for that, man. She just it's amazing what these young men have done. It really is. But Frank Marshall, we definitely got to talk about this. We're going into the Bears next, but right now we're going to be talking about the draft picks for the Bears that made in the draft from last week. We're going to be talking about those draft picks right now. I'm just going to say, I'm not a person who goes off of saying that a team won the draft. I'm not going to take it that far because we have not seen these players play in the preseason. But I did watch some tape on some of the players and whatnot. But let's talk about the second round pick that the Bears made in the second round, the 39th pick. Kyler
Gardner.
Yeah. Gardner? That was Gordon. Okay.
Gordon? Yeah, Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyler Gordon.
Hey, man, we needed a corner, man. Like, when I was watching the draft, looking at the team, man, we needed so much. I'm like, man, we need another corner besides.
We needed everything. The only thing we weren't was quarterback.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we definitely need a corner. And when I look at this kid, man, the first thing that screams to me is physical. You know, he's very physical. You can tell in the way he the way he plays, the way he goes after the wide receivers, and the aggression that he plays with. I think that was key.
Under control aggression too. Right. Yeah, definitely being a guy who can fit in this quote unquote Tampa 2 scheme, which means you can't be afraid to tackle. You got to be able to come up a hit on the run. You got to be physical on the jam. You got to be attacking. I know there was some, Washington puts out a lot of cornerbacks every year. Every year, Washington Huskies have some cornerbacks coming out. Just think about it. He's the second corner to be taken. They had both their starting corners from Washington were taken in the first 40 picks. That team produces corners, and he's an outstanding talent. I know he got a knock because of his 40 time, but I tell people all the time sometimes that your game speed is different from your time speed. I knew that he was a name that people were talking about. They said that there were two teams that had elite corners. Cincinnati had 2 corners that were drafted. One actually, besides Sauce, was actually the defensive back of the year in college football. And then, of course, you had Sauce, and then Washington. Both corners were really good. The kid McGuffey who went, he went, and then when they got Kyler, I was like, I was happy because I'm like, we needed a guy who could solidify being the starting corner, and if him and Thomas Graham could compete for the starting number 2 corner behind JJ, man, that's awesome. And then that whoever loses that battle, they're automatically the nickel, and both guys can play in the slot. I saw some tape on him; he can play in the slot, and you're gonna need to play in the slot because you need to be physical and you need to tackle. So I gave that I'll give that like a B+, A- on that pick. I know a lot of people were excited about that. I know they got less excited as the picks went on, but man, based on what Poles was talking about and how they followed their board, and at the end of the day, man, there are no guarantees in the NFL. Right. So, hey, I'm definitely with the first pick. We need a DB help, man.
So CJ, what were you happy with, man? You was happy with the safety we drafted or the corner? The first 2. Which one were you happy about the most?
Well, going into next, that's a good point, guy. Going into next, I'm more happy with the safety because I figured that they were going to get a corner. I just didn't know who the corner was going to be, but I really wanted them to get a safety. And they got a physical safety.
A tackling safety.
Yes.
It's going to hurt somebody, man.
Not a guy, a quote unquote a coach on the field, like a very surgical with his game, with his way he diagnoses plays. He can play in the proverbial box. He's not afraid of contact. That was a knock on not just Jackson, but we kept quote unquote getting safeties that were kind of not more aggressive safeties. And with this kid comes in this quote unquote cover 2. And he's kind of a throwback to having a guy like a Bob Sanders type guy or Mike Brown, guys who could play in this cover 2, Tampa 2 defense, who can come up. And most of the tape you see, I mean, there is some tape of him obviously in deep coverage, but there's a lot of tape with him within that 10-yard space where he's coming up to make tackles. He's breaking up. I saw a play where on the highlight where you can see that he's pointing at the crosser coming across, and the quarterback makes a bad throw, but his visual and his peripherals, he sees the crosser coming, and he's communicating with the other DBs, crosser. You can see because he's pointing, and the quarterback throws a bad ball, and he's there the entire time, and he jumps and picks that ball. You need guys who can turn that ball over. So another outstanding pick, even though there were maybe some receivers and offensive line on the board, but if you're following the board, and we have a lot of holes with this team, hey man, best guy. We needed another safety. We don't have a guy coming in right now who's going to be the starting safety opposite Eddie Jackson. Right. So, hey, I like the pick as well. I think we got 2 guys who definitely have starting potential coming out the box.
Okay. All right. And look, y'all, we got a couple people that just pulled in to the studio. So we're going to bring them in. They're going to introduce themselves. So let's go ahead and let's bring the guys in right now.
What up? What's up, guys? How y'all feeling? G Walker, Chef. What up, CJ?
What's cracking? What up, y'all?
And y'all,
not much, man.
The people don't know who y'all are. I can do the little intro that y'all do, but I think you do it better yourselves. Introduce yourselves.
Go ahead, nephew. Let them know what's happening.
Hey, it's Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm with my dog C-Dub.
There you go.
We host the Chicago Bulls show with the Cognac Boys, man. We here, we ready to rock out with you guys, and let's talk some sports, man.
Oh yeah, let's talk. And then
go
ahead. What's up?
Hey, Bobby, you got them Funko Pops back there?
Yeah, man, this my little.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get along just fine, bro. We gonna get along.
That's my little.
I gotta get my collection on. I gotta get my collection back right.
Yeah, come on, man. Let's go. Sure. Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
C-Dub, what's good with you, C-Dub?
Oh no, man. That's just been chilling, baby. Just maintaining, working. You know how I go. I'm trying to be like y'all on here.
Right.
Hey, we trying, bro. We trying, man. The grind is real. The grind is real, man.
So let's get to it, man. Let's just get to it straight up. What did y'all think about this Bulls playoff run, man? Come on, man.
Oh, man. Hey, you could easily say it was disappointing, but that'll be taking the easy route. This was just a lesson. We needed to learn in these playoffs, and I think we picked the right teacher to get a lesson from. They spanked our ass. Excuse the language.
Definitely in game 3, 4, and 5. Definitely in game 3, 4, and 5.
Hey, you thought we thought that we had a little bit of a chance after Middleton went down, but no, we found out what a real champion is.
And they turned up on us, didn't they?
They turned the hell up on us.
That coaching staff in Milwaukee, people try to underplay that head coach, man. That guy can coach.
Oh, definitely.
They've been underestimating that guy since he got the job, man.
Yeah.
So Bobby, so Cognac Bobby, so you still a fan of what, man? What was your feelings after that first round, man?
I was hurt, but it is what it is. We just wasn't ready, man. Especially in the game 5, there was no way we had a chance without Caruso or Zach Lavine.
Yeah.
But the reality is that at least we didn't get swept like the Brooklyn Nets. So
I
say that all the time. All the time I say that, man.
Who was the most surprising player?
Brooklyn is the most disappointing team in the playoffs. Definitely not the Bulls.
Who was the most surprising player, C-Dub, and who was the most disappointing player?
On the Bulls, you mean?
Yeah.
The most surprising player, and I might throw y'all for a little. It's DeMar DeRozan.
What?
It was surprising to me that he could. Let him get that out the way real fast.
Yeah, I'm not laughing at your answer. I'm laughing at Walker's response to your answer. He was like, "What?"
But no finish though, C-Dub.
I think DeMar DeRozan been in this league long enough that he's seen all the defense that can be thrown at him, and he seemed to be ineffective of what Milwaukee Bucks was doing to him. And also my positive of the series is actually Pat Williams.
Yeah,
he just showed you with all the rest of the players, struggling. Pat Williams was doing this thing, and he was taking it kind of easy. You know what I'm saying?
Out of 4 games, he was taking it easy. Out of 4 games, he played well in 3 games. So Cognac Bobby, to you, man, I'm gonna swing it to you. Who was your most surprising player, and who was your most disappointing player?
The most surprising player? Might laugh. You might laugh again, Chef. And you might do a crazy ass
I'm not laughing at y'all choices. I'm laughing at guys' response.
But the most surprising for me was Vooch, man.
Yes.
For the simple fact, everybody said this man was gonna get killed. He was gonna look like hot garbage. I think that it was probably only one game to where he didn't, show up. But all the other games, he was pretty consistent. Got you 20 points and got you a couple rebounds. He basically
was double doubles. He was out there. He was battling.
He did what he was supposed to do.
And who was the most
surprised the hell out of me?
Yeah, who was the most disappointed?
Zach, man. Zach, I think. I understand the knee inflammation that he had in there, but I just feel like it was after that game 2, and we came out in game 3. I feel like with the game plan that was put on the Chicago Bulls by the Bucks, that was supposed to have been the Zach Lavine game right there.
Yeah.
Damn, man, you doing Zach bogus, nephew? What's up?
Hold on, man. Listen,
this man hurt, man. He got a bad left hand. He got a bad knee.
He should have sat out then, man.
Man, that first game, DeMar came with the 41 pick.
Hey, it was his first playoff series, man.
Dude didn't do nothing at home for 2 games, bro. It was crazy.
Yeah, man.
He got out there. He tried, though, man. I feel y'all, but I think he gave it his all. He ain't cut us short, though.
He wasn't
cut us short. Yeah, he is. So he deserved to get paid, right? He deserved to get paid, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I say pay him.
Yes.
Man, let's not be ridiculous. Like, to me, if you not you guys,
but in general,
not you guys, but in a general statement, if you looking at some of these stars around the league, you putting Zach Lamar on the same tier as a Middleton, as a maybe a CJ McCollum when he was with the Blazers, and you putting them on the same tier as that. Somebody that's like a number 2 on a championship team, but obviously you need a legit number 1, but he could definitely be a solid number 2 on a championship team.
Great take, bro. Great take.
I think but his game is not defined yet. Like he need a post. He could get that post game going. Once he found a post game, he's so athletic. He go get that shot off.
And that dribbling needs some work.
And he needs to work on that dribbling. Man. Hey, he remind me of Latrell Sprewell when he play out there. He only got one hand.
He needed some guy rolls in Italian beaches.
But Latrell was going down. But Latrell was going downhill, baby. He was attacking.
Yeah, but he had that. Yeah, he was real aggressive, but he only had that right hand though, like Clyde Drexler, people like that.
Well, dripping with his head down.
Yeah,
full speed ahead.
Dripping with the head down, go full speed.
Put that
shoulder down and go.
I was going to say that I think Zach's part of the problem. I know me and Guy were kind of going back and forth in one of our forums was Zach not demanding the ball more, and I think that he was deferring to DeMar a lot. And I think that especially in game 2 when DeMar was balling, that when DeMar was getting the rebound or he was the guard after we would get a defensive rebound, they were giving the ball to him to bring up the court. And Zach kind of was like, he still was a second option. But because DeRozan was balling so much, even when he was in that slump, the first half of the fourth quarter, they were still just deferring to DeMar. And unless he was getting something on the pass out, which didn't happen too much because DeMar was so dominant that game too, I think that he kind of got lost. And I think it was more on Billy Donovan to kind of, especially when DeMar kind of went cold, to kind of get the ball to him more. And I don't think they were going out of their way to do it, in my personal opinion, especially that game too, even though they won it.
A lot.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chef. I think he definitely needs to be in the future. Let's look into the future. I think he needs to be more selfish. I think he has the talent to be the number 1 option in the Chicago Bulls right now.
Correct.
So he got longer range than DeMar. I think he's way more athletic than DeMar, but that's not saying younger than DeMar. And I think he could play better D than Lamar if he put his mind to it. So I think he pay him his money.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah, pay the man his money.
And let him work on his game. He can only.
John Salmons no more, man.
Man, he said John Salmons.
Oh no,
man.
No.
So this is the rest of running back to you about Patrick Williams. He did kind of flourish under the playoffs. In a little bit. It seems like his numbers to be called, and he needs to perform to be more. He's done it more than once. So going forward, what do you think the Bulls have to do to get him more opportunities? For him to maximize his potential. And Bobby, I want you to speak on that too as well when he gets the dumbest. All right.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to put this mostly on the coaching staff. When we look out the plays that they running, is normally stuff for DeMar. It's normally stuff for Vooch. It's rarely stuff for Vooch and Zach Lavine. It's more like for DeMar. I would like to see some plays run for Pat Williams. I would have loved to have some plays run for him in this playoff series that just left. We would have did much, much better with some plays run for Pat Williams. He's a matchup nightmare. He's a 6'8", 6'9", built like a truck, jump shot, silky, rainbow.
And can jump out the gym.
Super athletic. He got to work on his passing. He looked like he want to be a great passer, but he got to work on his pass. He make a lot of silly turnovers trying to make the incredible pass. But this guy, it's going to be on the coaching staff to get this guy implemented into the offense.
All right, Bobby, what you think?
I think that the next step in his progression just comes with knowing when he should, and that's also on his teammates too, not in part on the coaching staff as well. Everybody knew after game 2 that the Chicago Bulls was gonna think they was gonna come in and let DeMar drop 40 again.
Right.
Milwaukee Bucks said,
Nah.
And
that's what I said the last podcast.
And if like, I'm mad the Bulls went home, but I'm still gonna watch NBA playoffs. Everybody was like, just drive the basket. But bro, Giannis, Bobby Portis, and Brook Lopez are 6'10" and above.
Right.
You are not driving you are not driving through trees, bro. It's gonna get blocked every time, and you barely gonna get calls. So I'm with C-Dub. They should have definitely game plan like they gonna double DeMar. We need to run more plays for our other guys, and y'all need to move this ball. And they got to hit some shots. That's the next step in that progression.
I think that's even a bigger issue. Them not hitting open shots.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for the longest.
Me and Guy have gone back and forth on the progression of Pat Williams, and I keep saying that I do not dislike Pat. I've grown to understand that I was wrong about him when they drafted him, because I was really down on it when they initially drafted a guy who was the sixth man in college, but he has proven that he has a lot of potential. Is when you needed him to make a shot in key possessions, he wasn't making those shots, like a corner three or that 16 or 15-foot jumper. Those key jump shots when you're getting the ball, and it just seemed like if he wasn't already in a going rhythm, which is going to be hard when you're not the top two guys, you got to make the shots that you're given. Right. And the fact that when he was balling, it either seemed to be on in games where we weren't. Yeah, exactly. Which it doesn't look odd. It doesn't look good to the eye. Like you putting up 20 points in a game when you already losing by 16.
Well, hold on. No. I gotta disagree with you, because when you don't give a guy, we gotta go this again. When you don't give a guy you have to give a guy any opportunity you can. You have to see him in any moment in the NBA game as a 4th overall pick on a playoff team to perform when they call your name. The name of the game is, I'm calling your name, I'm calling your number. I need 20 points, no matter who we playing right now, to grow your mentality to be a go-to scorer. Have to do that. You can't say he's getting 20 points in games that don't matter, because he was in the playoffs and he put up 20 points 2 times. And he's 20 years old after a hurt season. He was hurt this whole season.
I mean, can I ask you a question, Chef? Like,
what's up?
What important point of any of those playoff games did he have a chance to go and score? I don't see him in any important time. He's not going to get the shot. It's going to be DeMar, Zach.
No, what I'm saying, there were points in some of those closer games where in game 2, when they kind of were losing the lead, where he had a corner three. And we were on the chat, and I was like, he's got to hit that shot, because I think
he did. I said that too. I agree with you too.
It's the point of it's going to be really hard from my point of view, seeing a guy who's already not a top 3 option to get more touches on a team that is already driven by 3 guys, Vooch, DeMar, and Zach. It's already hard enough for him to get touches. So from what I'm understanding from what you all are saying is, you got to get that guy more touches when Zach's down. But the rotation of how they've been working the system this season, he hasn't been getting those touches initially. So it would be so, I guess, creative from Billy Donovan and his staff to be like, okay, we about to get Pat the ball right now. When they haven't done it, except for the end of the season, when they were benching the guys and when they were losing. I'm not saying he only performs when there's blowouts. I'm just saying that when he gets his chance to put up more shots, those are not indicative times. It's not indicative times where it really matters per se. So even there, but no one was. But in respect to that, none of the Bulls were making shots when they needed them.
Facts.
I mean, Alex wasn't hit before Alex got hurt. He wasn't making key shots except for he hit a couple buckets in game 2. Like he almost had a triple double that game. He was like 8, 9, and 12 or something like that. He was close. Yeah. But really, it was really DeMar and Vooch driven, and Zach he had the tail end of 4th. He didn't have such a strong game. So I'm just saying, I've always said I don't have anything against Pat. There are some things that I disagree with certain people. Like me and Guy disagree that Pat could be a future number 1 option. I am not going that far. I will say that I see the potential in him being a number 2 and number 3 option type guy. But he's inherently not going to get those multitude of shot options because he's already so far on that, that depth of getting those shots. So when he does get those 5, 6, 7 shots in those games, he wasn't initially hitting them in those closer games. That's what I was just trying to say. It's hard to get those options when you haven't been getting them.
What do you say? What do you say about Golden State with their, all those players? They score, they share that ball, and I see like 4 players scoring over 20. They'll say it ain't possible.
They're just a better team. It's just a better team.
Okay, let's say that, but they're playing basketball. You can share the ball just like they doing.
But like Poole was a development player the entire season, and the difference between Poole and Pat is that Pat was hurt. Poole wasn't.
Yeah.
So he's always been, his growth has been steadily. So when he's putting up the 30 points he put up in the first series, the only people who were shocked were people who had never watched basketball. Like full disclosure, I always say full disclosure. I didn't watch a lot of NBA basketball this season. I watched some basketball, so I kind of knew who Poole was. But when Poole dropped that 30 in game 1 or 2, I was like, who the hell is this kid? Yeah, and then I did a little bit of research. I'm like, okay, he's been steadily putting up buckets for them the entire season, so it wasn't out of mind for him to do that. Like, man, if Pat would have put up 25 in a win versus the Bucks, bro, we all would have been happy, but no one would have saw it coming in a game in the playoffs versus that team. That's what I'm saying.
So
in a clutch game.
Go ahead, CJ. Go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, it's kind of, and look, the whole thing with Patrick Williams, it's kind of hard to say what he would have done, what he should have done, especially when you only played 4 or 5 games going into the end of the season.
Right.
And now you're going into the playoffs, and the playoffs is a whole different ballgame. We know when you play the same defense 4 out of 7 games in the series, they're going to make adjustments against, players that they feel like can take advantage against their defense. So to say that he won't be a number 1 option, I can't really say that because, again, a lot of people are comparing him to Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard, when he first came out of San Diego State,
he was not, right?
He was a defender. He was not. He didn't have an offensive game in any type of shot. And Patrick Williams was a little bit more further along than Kawhi Leonard was.
Yes,
so let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind to say this kid has a chance to develop. Because I think he could be a very good player.
Me too.
The thing is he going to develop his game over the summer? Who is he going to work with to develop his game? If I'm Patrick Williams, I'm calling Kawhi Leonard on the phone. Like, yo, let's get into the gym this summer. Let's work. Let's go to work, baby. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, like we just had the young man Bernard Scott on here. He took the initiative to go and get that job for himself. Patrick Williams gotta take the initiative to go get better.
I agree.
And to work on his offensive game. And as long as if you do that, you got a chance to be a number 1 option no matter where you go.
All right, so let me ask this. Hold on.
That's the thing with players coming out early is that when players don't hit initially, especially when you're a lottery pick, Pat would be right now, Pat would be finishing his junior year in college, right?
Yeah.
And when players don't hit immediately, teams or fans, I should say, which fans matter, but we don't matter because we're not in the everyday workings of teams. When you don't hit immediately, like Lonzo Ball, my bad.
Yeah, that's a bad example, Coach.
That's a bad example.
Let's just change it up real quick.
I didn't mean Lonzo. I meant the younger brother.
Oh, okay.
Kanye, Bobby, can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you, bro.
Let's just change it up real quick. We gave Pat enough love, man. Kanye, Bobby, who are we getting rid of this season? Who's gone? Is Kobe gone? Is he gone or what?
Kobe gone.
I think so.
Kobe gone?
Kobe gone.
Let's keep
I think so.
Fresh. Go ahead. I'm listening. We listening.
The B word, Tony Bradley, he gone.
Oh. Do we even have to say that?
He gone.
Do we have to say that?
Yeah, I think a lot of those. So it's gonna be honest. Well, at one point I thought Javonte Green was gonna be gone.
No, he gone. He gone.
But
he gone.
There is a chance he might be gone, but there is a chance he might still be there because the Bulls only paying him $2 million.
All right, CJ, who gone, man? Come on, CJ, come on, give it to me, bro.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I said it during the playoffs. I'm gonna say it again.
I know.
If you package Kobe White
and Vooch,
and I say DeMar DeRozan.
Ooh.
And the reason why I say DeMar DeRozan, and I said it last week, and I'm gonna say it again this week. He is at a high value for a guy his age, and you have to maximize that as a business perspective to say, okay, he was our best player this season. He's 33 years old. What could we get for him now with Zach Lavine having a possible knee surgery? I know you guys heard the story today.
About
his knee not being too good. Lonzo Ball, same situation. So now if you're the Bulls, you're in a tough situation. What are you going to do to keep that team irrelevant, keep that team going into next year? Because you may not have Zach Lavine if you re-sign him to a $200+ million deal. You may not have Lonzo Ball if you going into next season starting out. So what are you going to do to keep that team relevant? Because I don't know if we're going to see the same DeMar DeRozan that we saw this season going into next season.
As much as I want to agree with you on that, and this is going to go back to Pat because he's the fourth overall pick. Pat not ready this year. Let him go out there at 4 a.m. in the morning on that beach with DeMar and trade with DeMar in the offseason, and then you trade DeMar. But trading DeMar right now with Pat, and you got to be that second out. I don't know if I'm ready for that, man. And I love Pat, but I think he needs one more season of being healthy, get his feet up underneath him, get healthy, go train with DeMar. You know what I mean? Something like that. But right now, I think I want to keep DeMar one more season, man.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I don't think it's time to make that trade. If anything, first of all, I think that you need to allow Ayo to progress as a backup point guard. He has a lot of good potential, a lot of great potential and good qualities. Because at one point when Lonzo went down and he was running the show for a little hot minute, the man had the pick and roll going crazy with him.
He did.
He was like, that was his goal every game. Let me go ahead and get Vooch involved. But the thing, what his next step is going to be hitting them damn open shots too, and even taking because it was a lot of times where these guys will get the ball, pump fake, dribble, pass out, or get it back. Come on, man, too much pump fake and just shoot.
I think he got real passive when the playoffs hit. The end of the season, the playoffs, he seemed to get a little more passive than he was earlier and midway through the season. I don't know if it's part of his slumping as a rookie because the season's so long or what, but he didn't seem to be playing the same as he did the first 3 quarters of the season. And I understand he's a rookie, but it seemed like something was missing from Ayo in that playoff series.
Right.
Can
I respond to that comment real quick?
Yeah, hold on.
All right, so DeRozan for Anthony Davis. My question is for you, Frank. What Anthony Davis are we getting? Are we getting Mr. Hollywood or the man that's going to come in and work? Because Mr. Hollywood, after he won a championship, came back in camp reportedly out of shape and not ready to go and take the keys from LeBron James. And plus, every single time the man hit the damn court, we think he hurt. Bro, I don't know if I can handle that much anxiety.
He can barely give you. He can barely give you 70 games. He can barely give you 70 games.
60,
right? You gonna trade him, bro? And he gonna be at home.
I mean, they're gonna treat him worse than they treated Derrick Rose before he left.
Can I add one more thing real quick? He's a Packers fan. I don't want him.
Oh, that's right.
His what?
Get his ass out of here.
No. I didn't hear that right.
Man.
He's a Packers fan. Look it up.
Oh, he can say his square
I don't
ass.
want him.
LA. Stay his ass in LA.
I want to know what the hell about Chicago.
He can stay in LA with
and who Packer fans over there.
He can stay in LA with LeBron for their Taco Tuesdays. Looking at
damn tacos with all the damn beef and all the damn mild sauce. We eating that shit, man. It ain't good for you,
bro.
Shout out to SB Sports, SB Talk Sports with that, man. That's his thing.
Yes, sir.
Bro, I can't even do it.
Oh my God, I couldn't, man. That pretty much made. Oh man,
I just messed y'all up, huh?
Yeah, you definitely messed it up. That's something I did not know, man. I did not know that at all.
You got me. You about to have me out here saying Pat Beverly the best player from Chicago left in the playoffs, and they not even in the playoffs.
Oh my!
They won their championship, man. The Premier Championship.
My man was in tears.
Oh
man. He been to the playoffs before. That was the crazy part.
Crazy part, bro.
Like you been to the playoffs.
Man, I don't.
That's that West Side shit, dog.
Hey, coach, don't start no shit up in here, man, that you can't finish. Don't start no shit up in here you can't finish, bro. Hey, keep that west side shit over there. I'm from the south side. Keep that shit over there. And bring that shit over here.
Man. That's too much, man.
It is, man. It is too much. But man, but it's going back into Ayo. I want to touch on Ayo real quick because Lonzo with his knee injury now, we don't know how long he's going to be out. You know, it's pretty much a bummer because this kid has been hurt all season long. And I go back to what his father said. If some of you don't know, Lonzo's family had a show on Facebook. It was called, I believe, Ball in the Family or something like that. Correct. Now, when him and
they still got that show?
No, they don't have the show. I'm going back to it. I'm going back to what happened in that show. When him and his father sat down and they had a discussion as far as I think there was the whole Alan Foster thing going on and everything else. His father pretty much told him, you know, we might, you know, they was talking about changing the name. And, you know, his father said, well, we might as well call you Alfonso because of the fact that you're broken goods. Due to the fact that you're broken goods. And that stuck with me because what does that mean? Injury prone. You know what I'm saying? So read between the lines, it's injury prone. So now looking at it, could this be a problem moving forward with Lonzo Ball being hurt? And is he ever going to get back to 100% and give you at least 70 games in a season?
No, hell no. He's not giving you 70 games. He ain't giving you 70 games.
Nope.
Hell no.
C-Dub, what's your thoughts on that, man?
I'm gonna give this guy the benefit of the doubt, Lonzo Ball. I really like Lonzo Ball's game, so it would benefit the Chicago Bulls to have this guy on the court every single time. And I'm just gonna hope and pray. You know, anybody can get injured and then they can become injury prone. I just hope it's advancement in science and in health. Just hope he just get over this and come and help us win some games.
Yeah.
Bobby, what's your take?
About that 70 games.
Yeah, it ain't
career high 63 in 5 seasons.
Yeah, it ain't looking too good, y'all. But I do love Lonzo Ball, man. I think if he had a chance to finish out the season and get into this playoffs, the Bulls definitely would have. I'm not saying we would have beat the Bucks, but we definitely would have looked better in transition.
Better showing.
Which we lacked. I mean. We couldn't get nothing in transition because that guy's pretty damn good pushing the ball up the floor.
Exactly, but you know, I want to make another point, and I think if those players would have pretty much learned the Derrick Rose floater, that deadly floater he had, that's how they could have probably eliminated a lot of the stuff that Milwaukee was doing because that floater, a lot of players couldn't stop that floater.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
true. That is true. That was a weapon.
That was a dangerous weapon. I really believe if Derrick Rose would have played against this team, it would have been a problem for that team. Just to the fact that floater, he could do it from any part of the court, and it's high. It's a high percentage shot. So
I agree. That's a great point.
Go ahead.
Those players on that Milwaukee Bucks team. Derek done handled all those players over there in that Milwaukee Bucks team. They already know what's up with Derrick Rose over there. Every last one of them. Drew Holiday, Middleton, Giannis, Brook Lopez, they have no shot.
Shout out to little folks, man. Shout out to little folks.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. But I mean, anybody got anything else they want to sign the Bulls before we I guess we're gonna get into some Bears talk before we move on. Before I want to get into it, what about this second round series between we got the Celtics, we got the Bucks, and of course we got the Golden State Warriors, and who else?
Memphis Grizzlies.
Memphis Grizzlies.
Go ahead, Bobby.
I got Bucks in 7. I got Golden State beating the Memphis Grizzlies. I got the Phoenix Suns beating the Mavs. And bye-bye to James Harden and Embiid. The Heat going with them in 6.
They cook. See, what you got? Same thing.
Give me the Heat. Give me Golden State. Give me Boston. And what's the other one? Dallas and Phoenix. Give me Dallas.
Oh,
and that's a stretch. Nephew, know that I don't even rock with Luka, so that's a stretch.
Yeah. Well, actually, my question to you, C-Dub, was gonna be: you actually got the Celtics coming back and beating the Bucks?
I think they're a better team than the Bucks. Defensively, they're a better team than the Bucks. Okay. I think they can beat the Bucks. Definitely.
Those are the two best teams defensively in the East.
Yes.
But whoever win the series going to the finals, in my opinion.
But Giannis.
Man, Frank Marshall, you don't get out of here with that Derrick Rose and Ja Morant take, man.
No.
Ja Morant too little, buddy. He too little.
You already know who we rooting over here.
Go
ahead.
Don't make me go get my jerseys.
Derrick Rose was the most twitchiest point guard I've ever seen. Like I've never seen a more twitchier, explosive point guard in my life. Now, if anybody say they seen somebody, as fast and explosive as that, no.
Man, no way. Hey, God, they gon' say Kyrie, but everybody forget that Derrick Rose used to work his ass too.
Smoke.
Oh,
say it for the people in the back.
I think John Lucas Jr. was saying that Kyrie was playing sick. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to play Derrick Rose, so he was playing sick and shit.
Bro.
Okay. They
out here calling Kyrie the most talented, most skilled player in the NBA, bro. The most skilled, most skilled. Like, he is a skilled player. You can't deny his talent, but when has he ever done anything when it matters?
He's never led a team to a playoff.
Besides that one 3-pointer in that one game that helped clinch it, like, he was a lottery pick that stayed in the lottery until they got LeBron back. He went to Boston. They got him out of there. He went to Brooklyn, and he didn't want a ball. Like, come on. Look, we could talk about vaccines all day, bro. You can talk about vaccines all day. Your team needed you to play, bro. Where were you?
At the crib.
The question is, where was KD? That's the question. Where was KD?
Oh, in the series? He was getting hemmed up.
In the series, bro.
KD a fraud, man.
He was getting hemmed up the way I thought he was going to get hemmed up when he first got into the league, but he proved me wrong about that. I always thought, I was like, bro, he's too light to ball in the NBA. He proved me 100% wrong. I thought he'd be nice, but I'm like, bro, what was the story like? In the NBA, so in college, they benched 225. They told at the NBA combine he couldn't put up 185.
We can tell that by his body. We can definitely tell that by his body.
I was like, you can't put up 185. I was putting that up in college. I mean, I played football, but damn. Obviously basketball's a different sport, but look, I don't know, man. That Achilles, he's probably one of the most successful stories from an Achilles, except for possibly the Human Highway film. But this series,
he built like a dry fit sock. Man. He built like a dry fit sock.
And I know he in the NBA, and he ain't not supposed to care about what we think. But come on, man, you got to do something with the top of your dome, man. My man hair looked like somebody's uncle.
Hey man, they want to keep it going, man. But hey, the shape.
And he got 50 burners on Twitter. Clapping back because he's sensitive. But I digress. He's still probably the best pure scorer in the NBA, without a doubt.
Oh, facts.
Yeah.
We picking on a guy who's been proven, but he was getting clamped up and had been pushed around in that last series since the playoffs. You know better. He should know better. He's been in the playoffs most of his career. And he was acting like he had never been.
But you know what? And it probably wasn't even that. It just get to a point in time in a certain player's career, them injuries, and he's 33, 34 years old now, man. Those young guys can keep up with you.
Man,
he's about 30. Yeah. I think he's about 31.
It was the point where he was cooking younger guys, and he was cooking guys that was older than him.
Mm-hmm.
But now he gets to the point to where guys are just younger than him and getting in their prime. And he's maybe getting a half a step story. And with that Achilles, so it's like a
33.
little bit of both.
33.
It's a little bit of,
33.
Him getting older, and there's a little bit of that. Tatum just 20. Tatum 12 years old, man. So he gonna run around you all day, man.
He's combined the last 2 seasons with Brooklyn. He's combined for only 90 games. So he's only played one season, roughly one season of basketball the past 2 seasons, coming off the Achilles from the 2018-19, 19-20, because he didn't play at all 2019-20. He's played literally 90 games. 90 games the past year, 35 and 55.
Okay.
So
well, all right, fellas. We was talking about the draft before we kind of jumped into the Bulls real quick. I know. I don't know if you guys are strong Bear fans. Probably are. Probably not. I mean, that's
sure
what
is.
Say.
Okay, Bob.
What was your guys' take on the draft? What did you guys think about the players that the Bears drafted, and what direction you guys think they're going in?
Go ahead.
Bobby's laughing, so C-Dub, I know you got something you want to say, so go on, man.
Y'all smart.
Hey, hey, can I just ask y'all a question? The quarterback is the most important player on the football team, correct?
Theoretically,
that's what I've told through years.
You can't win without a quarterback, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, he touched the ball the most, right? He touched the ball.
I can say you can.
Yeah. So you want to do anything you can to help a quarterback out.
Oh man,
a young quarterback, correct?
Theoretically, with this.
Okay, I get it. I get Kyler Gordon. I get it. You need another cornerback, but that second pick, George from Georgia, he was sitting there.
Brisker.
No. I'm talking about the pick they didn't do.
He's talking about the
from
receiver.
Georgia.
About the receiver.
George Pickens, that's his name, nephew.
Yeah,
George Pickens. Yep.
He was sitting right there. And what do? They go and pick another safety. You know what I'm saying? And then they go and settle for a third round receiver that's that most people are saying that projected to be, a special utility player. He's a little low budget Debo Samuel. Yeah. I am so disappointed in this draft. Dude, we got a franchise quarterback. I'm tired of, Chicago Bears is always, man, we're going to have a strong defense. We're going to run the ball.
Right.
Damn all that. Forget all that.
Yeah.
It's time to change this up. Can we score some points?
Right.
When is the last time a defensive or I can't say the word. I'm so pissed off.
Defensive
oriented defensive oriented team won you scrunching your eyeball, won a playoff, won a Super Bowl. Let's go back to Baltimore. Go back to the 85. The Rams is offense and defense equally good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Equally good.
Okay.
So I'm tired of this defensive shit, y'all.
You know what? We're gonna let the OG. Give him a minute, man. He is upset.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Bobby. No, go ahead, Bobby.
I mean, I understand frustration though, because man, just think about it. At the time, every single year, the Bears gonna have a solid defense, but the offense be a dud. But I understand where Pose was going with this. You need somebody. You had no for sure answer on the corner. You had Thomas Graham Jr. You'd be like, all right, he had a good 4 games, but we don't know what he looked like in a full season. Then you had Bill Doyle, and you damn sure better not put him back out there. Then there's no for sure answer at the safety spot. Now you're getting a good, strong safety that's good in coverage, and you can drop him down in the box. And then right now, C-Dub, we talked about it earlier. I feel like Ryan Post like Darnell Mooney. You want to be the number one? Go prove that. Go prove it. So,
that boy is not no number one receiver, man.
He got to prove it. I see him as a number 2. I see Darnell Mooney as a legit number 2. My pick would have been, I would have went after Christian Watson, but the Green Bay Packers traded up and got him. So in that point, I would have took a big wide out, Pickens or Alec Pierce. That's what I would have did. But obviously, my man, he telling Darnell Mooney to go.
I agree with you. I'm on a Bobby train right now, man. I'm with that, man. Big body receiver. I'm with that.
Yeah, I actually wanted them. I did a mock draft, and I did it for the I did it for the Hallis Hall Report, and I actually had Pickens being that first pick, and them going after a defensive player with the 2 second round picks. Right. So I was very surprised that they got the corner first. And they went out and got Briskins second. I felt like they could have gotten the receiver. They could have gotten Briskins first. Went back and they could have gotten Pickens. To that point. So it was pretty shocking that they went both defense. With those picks. I get what they're trying to do, but we have to remember, Eberflus is a defensive-minded coach. So it really don't surprise me that he went this route.
Your GM is the offensive lineman too, though.
In the offensive line, exactly. But you can tell it has their fingerprints all over this draft. You could just tell by the way they drafted the players and the way that they went out and got offensive linemen later in the draft. You could just tell it had the fingerprints all over it. But fellas, keep this in mind too. I still say next year, 2023, pay attention to that year. That's the year that they're going to have the majority of the money.
That cap, baby.
To possibly go after free agents and plug in some of those other holes.
And they're going to have a higher pick. They're going to have a first-round pick.
Right. Do we seriously think that Justin Fields and this offense is going to do something this year?
No matter who you draft to sign.
I don't know. Wait. Let me say something. Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
I think we have the second easiest schedule
in
the NFL right now.
We do.
Based off of last year. They haven't put the schedule out yet. The schedule was revealed.
They did.
Okay.
The hardest schedule every year since Nagy was there, man. We got the second easiest schedule. We can do something with that, man. We can do something with that, man. We can do something with that.
Yeah, but the only thing I have to disagree with you with is that they don't have enough
we don't have enough of anything. We don't have enough of anything.
Justin Fields.
I don't know.
The fact that
Go ahead, Bob.
CJ. I don't know, CJ. I would say Darnell Mooney's talented. I mean, I would say there's no for sure like superstar, but there's a lot of guys. So you got from what I see, they want to take the top off. So they just got all these speed guys. Byron Pringle, Mr. Jump in my whip and do donuts.
With my baby.
He fat, you know what I'm saying? He fast. You got Darnell Mooney, and then you know what I'm saying. Now they bring in the 3rd round pick in. You don't know what you got out of Cole Kmet. He ain't got Jimmy Graham self in his way no more. So you still got a solid 2-headed monster in the backfield with Montgomery and Herbert. So
Herbert, yep.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, good point. Right. Good point. G, what's your take on it, man?
I mean, I agree with everything you said, man. It's just that like I say, sometimes the strength of schedule does help a team. When you're a young team and you're going against the top of the NFL every season, I mean, depending on what you have in your team talent-wise, what are you really going to do? I mean, just as a fan and watching the game, you know, you just want good competitive games. You want to see the talent being developed, no matter what. We want to see a system where we got pretty much like a drill sergeant coach, Eberflus, where he's getting on guys. Like the culture got to get built, man. Guys got to attack the ball on both ends of the field, man. So I just want to see competitive ball. I just want to see guys develop.
That's all.
Ridley didn't develop here. Who else didn't develop here? You know, everybody was pretty much 50-50 on Mitch. He didn't develop here. A lot of guys didn't develop under this old regime, man. Yeah. So we got to just start developing guys, get them to that second contract. Like it looks like Montgomery's going to get paid now. Man, can we pay him? Can we keep some guys instead of doing a retread and losing and drafting every year? Like, you know what I mean? So let's just see what this schedule does. See how Justin looks under Gesky and just go from there. Like he has to improve. He got a whole offseason with a coach that's gonna put him in the driver's seat from the jump. You know what I mean?
About time.
Like his throwing motion. Look like his throwing motion. He's picked his elbow up on his passes. So let's tweak this thing and see what we got.
I think you got C-Dub's attention. He kind of rose up out of his seat a little bit.
Yeah.
You guys' attention. So C-Dub, what's on your mind, man?
You think Ryan Poles will pay Montgomery when this contract come up? You think so? How conservative he's been in this offseason. You think he'll pay him?
I think. Go ahead, coach. But I think. Go ahead, coach.
It's hard. It's hard to be conservative or to be penny pinching when you only have enough money to shop at Aldi's. It's hard.
You mean Walmart?
Pay for less.
If I want to shop at Whole Foods and what's the other big store that it's a little pricey. It's kind of like Whole Foods.
That's my
Mariano's. There you go. If I want to shop there, but I don't have the money to shop there, then I'm going to have to settle for shopping at Walmart or Aldi. That's just the fact of the matter. That's the fact of the matter.
I'm going to Aldi before I go pay for less. I ain't going to even lie to you.
Right. That's the fact of the matter. So I get the frustration with a lot of Bears fans, and being the quote unquote football guy, I think that we put a lot of stock in a lot of mock drafts and a lot of not procrastinators, a lot of guys who make pre-draft boards who are analysts. Now, the draft is not a art. We always talk about people who are surefire people, but we don't know until they produce or they don't produce. It's been a lot of guys in the first round, receivers, who we were like, man, he put up 1,000 yards in college and he runs a 4.3 and he's 250 pounds or whatever.
Kevin White.
Who didn't produce. Well, none of you knew me then, but I knew Kevin White was not a first round receiver because there were a lot of flaws in his game at that time. Okay, so if you trust in quote unquote your board and you don't believe in reaching, and we've said from the beginning, Pose has said, is that this is going to be a process. There's no need of rushing a process when you don't have enough. You don't have enough. So you got a lot of 1-year deals from these free agents. There's a second free agency coming up. So we can go after a guy like Flowers, a guy who played with KC and who played with the Colts, who can maybe play that left tackle. We can move some guys around so we can have a shift. You draft some guys late in the round you can develop, because at this point it's always going to be development. I know a lot of people wanted Pickens from Georgia. But in a year or two, we might be singing a different song if that guy Pickens gets every opportunity for who he got drafted by, and he's not balling. And we'd be like, damn, we dodged a bullet. Maybe Poles knew something we all didn't know. Right. All 31 teams have their board adjusted differently. And I would just say, no, in all transparency, when they drafted the kid out of Tennessee, although a lot of people were griping on his age, what I will say is that, no, I was not a huge fan of it. But if I look at what they're going for, that kid is a burner. He's not the best. He's not the best tactical runner, but he's a solid kid who's great after contact. And you get that kid in space. He's just not a kick returner. So hey, we got a guy who's Pringle, who's not just a vertical threat, but he's a horizontal threat. He can run crossing routes. So you got a guy who can run crossing routes. Then you got a guy like Jones who can go vertical. Then you got a guy Mooney who is a number 2. But if you got some guys who can stretch the field horizontally and vertically, then you can get Mooney in some of these these holes that defenses are going to set when they try to possibly double team him. Although he's not garnering double teams yet, but he could sure be man coverage. Then you talk about the offensive line. We didn't pick enough guys in the offensive line because when they picked Jones in the 3rd, I wanted the tackle from Washington State. That's who I wanted to take because I thought they valued the tackle. But I also believe that we don't need a tackle. I think Borum and Tevin, I think we got tackles. I think we need interior linemen. So that's why you take a guy like Carter and Kramer, and you take a guy like Zach Thomas, who was a tackle in college, but is projected to be a guard. And you start developing these guys, and you move guys, and you piece together, because that's all you're doing. That's all you can afford to do. We went from having, I believe initially the Bears had, let me just double check real fast. The Bears came into this draft with, damn it. I believe they came in with 5 picks, if I'm not wrong.
Let's go.
They came in with 5 picks, right?
SB.
If they came in with 5 picks and they left the draft with how many? 11. They had 11 picks. So you went from thinking, oh my God, who are we going to take with the 2nd, 3rd, and what are we going to do? A GM who's very young and very inexperienced, but has been taught by many other GMs and seen many people develop talent for one team. He's worked under 3 different GMs, and he took 5 picks, essentially 5 to 6 picks, and he turned it to 11 picks. Now, even if you hit on 50% of them, even if you hit on 4 of them, that's better statistically than people hit on picks, which is about a 33% clip.
Right.
I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting the process right now. I'm telling you,
SB.
The only way this doesn't work with this first class is if you only hit on 2 guys or you only hit on 1 guy. Then we can say, but none of us will really know, bro. Every year we look at all these first round picks and we like, damn, he gonna hit like all the first 5 picks, bro. In the first 5 to 10 picks, bro, it's gonna be some guys who we all thought were gonna ball out, who are gonna fall off, and we go like, damn, what happened? because it's a different game. It's a different level. Some people have already hit their peak. Some people are going to achieve their peak, and we got to see the process through. This team right now, before the draft and before free agency, this team was a 2 to 4 game winning team, because you got to account for beating a team that you may not beat. You got to account for injuries, all those things. After the draft and after I saw the free agent signing, the rookie free agent signings, bro, and they got a lot of receivers in the free agent signings. And I believe, looking at that list, I see 2 guys who can make this roster. 2 guys potentially in the preseason. The kid from Duquesne, who I don't have the name for, but I was watching some video and stuff on him, and the kid from Liberty, who played with the quarterback. I think those are big body guys. They got some other guys who are going to need some years of development. And I believe, because that's all I can do. I can't say I can guarantee it. I believe this team can win the same amount of games as they won last year, which will still give you a top 10 pick in next year's draft, unless a bunch of teams win 3 or 4 games. And you have a first round going in that we're not going to trade away. Poles ain't giving that number 1 up, bro. You're going to get a top 10 pick next year, guaranteed, possibly a top 7 pick. And we're going to go into this year doing whatever we can to protect Justin. And protecting Justin just isn't throwing the ball because he's a vertical guy. It's also protecting him by not putting him in positions where he can get hit constantly. By what? Playing defense, eating clock. We're going to have to. And then take our shots when we need to. So we have Getsy as an offensive coordinator who came from different systems and played college football himself, who's going to play vertical, because we're getting speed guys. You couldn't count the number of speed guys we had last year outside of Mooney and Grant. And all we have to do is see the process through.
Coach, hold on. I want to get SB. I want to get SB's take. Now I know SB. I know you're not a Bears fan per se.
No, I'll work with the Bears.
Okay.
I see that Charger. I
mean, that's my team too. That's
I seen that Charger in the background.
But first thing, I gotta have my mask, because everybody's talking about me. Yeah, you on stream to asphalt. I tell them. We back in action, man.
We get all that.
We back in action.
We get all that.
I open, baby. Everybody's like, hey, man, what happened? We back in action. But with the Bears situation, though, all jokes aside. With the Bears situation, though, I don't really expect too much from this season. The best thing you can do, you're trying to get a new stadium. You need to get a lot of young, talented players. Build this roster up young. Because right now, as you're looking at with the Lions draft, the Vikings still good, and you still got Aaron Rodgers in the division, so that's like plus. The Bears coming into the season as probably the worst team in the division, honestly. But there's nothing wrong with that though, because you got a young quarterback, you got new management who trying to develop and you actually got your pick coming on next year, like you said, so you could try to fight for that, but for what? Like, I think you should just play as much young talent as you can, see what we can get, see what the bright spots at, and build around. You got to remember. This a new guy running the team. This is his first year. So y'all got to forget, Justin Fields not his guy. This a movie. It's Justin Fields is in a bad position where it's a prove-it year for him, but it's a tank year for the Bears because they're going to want to get the top pick in the draft. The Bears not
I don't know about that one.
Hold on. Do you think Poles is that type of GM? Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah.
No, so I agree with everything you said except that it's a prove-it year for Justin Fields. The only reason I'm gonna say that I disagree with that is because the man was literally put into a Cleveland Browns game by a coach that didn't even game plan for him. So damn stupid. And then you can tell when Matt Nagy blew up whatever that Bill Lazor was calling. You could tell because there was a flow, and then out of nowhere, the man went from bootlegs to like 3 or 4 plays, just standing in the pocket, like not even tailored, not even going with the strengths of his game. But
okay, Bobby, hold on, Bobby. Coach, I have to mute your mic because you got a lot of feedback. You might want to
somebody back
go off and go back in, or come back in. Okay, Bobby, go ahead and continue. I'm sorry.
I agree with everything you said. Just I agree with everything you said. Just with the I think they're gonna give him a set offense, and then I believe the year after that,
they're gonna see
next year will be the prove.
I would agree with you if he was the one who drafted him, and history has always shown. It's always when a new guy take over the team, and he is any sport, point guard, the star player of the team, or the proven guy, the young guy. If he didn't draft that guy, he always gonna be on the board because if he don't pan out how he want to, he just be like, I didn't draft the guy. I'm just saying, going off what history has shown us. I don't believe it should be a proven year for him, but this not the guy who drafted him. So he don't have no love for Fields like the other people did.
That's fair, bro. That's fair.
So what were you happy with the draft picks? Because we talked about that before you hopped in. What were you happy? Were you happy with the picks, the first two especially? What you think?
See, with me, I went into this draft with when it comes to the Bears, I look at the Bears and Chargers have no real expectations. To honestly, the only thing that I noticed when they got that safety, I said, Eddie, they got to get rid of. That mean they plan on getting rid of Jackson. They got to.
He's not getting a second contract, bro. That's why he ain't go to voluntary camp.
You mean the third? It'd be his third contract, but
yeah, I think this is the year to get rid of him. You got to do it now.
This is Eddie's prove it year.
Yeah, I don't even want to give him a chance. Just get him out of here.
Because the safety they brought in is not a quote unquote a deep safety. Mm-hmm. So you bring in a guy to where in that cover 2 system you allow him to be a quote unquote a bigger, possibly more healthy Mike Brown. So Mike Brown's big issue was that he was 5'10", 190, or like in this cover Tampa 2, or like a Bob Sanders who he was cold, but Bob couldn't stay healthy because he was throwing his body around so much. But the dude was 5'8", 200. So you bring a guy in who's about 6 feet, 200, and you allow him because he's physical. Mm-hmm. to come up in the box that way Eddie doesn't have to. We all seen Eddie come up on the run, and none of us we all be looking like, is he gonna Olay this one? So Eddie has to prove that he's going to turn the ball over. If Eddie comes out this year and he plays 17 games and he doesn't have a minimum of 2 picks or a minimum of 1 fumble force, bro, he's definitely gone. But if Eddie comes out and he has 3 to 4 picks, maybe 1 forced fumble, maybe 2 or 3 fumble recoveries, bro, and that defense is clicking a little more, and we go from just having a high sack total but poor in coverage, because the Bears were atrocious in coverage last year. Atrocious in coverage. And they were. So if you get a guy who can come up and make some tackles, you make him more cover 2. You got JJ who's not afraid to tackle. Then you got this the Gordon kid, and you got Graham Jr. who can tackle these guys and not afraid of contact. You let Eddie roam in that half, and of course all defenses somehow in the game are going to turn into some form of a cover 3 or cover 4, and we start getting turnovers again. Eddie might get a couple years unless they envision him that in the total spec. But even if we don't keep Eddie Jackson, that sets him up for a whole nother team, which is not even our concern at this point. Mm-hmm. But the setup for this team has to be put in a place to where it's pinpoint where it's like, oh, we see this guy here, and we got to have guys who can get reps. You got to stack this roster to build competition. That's what they building right now. You got to come in balling, and not that I don't believe in what you're saying. Yes, because Poles didn't draft Fields. Yes, he can always say that's not my guy. Mm-hmm. But they said repeatedly this offseason and in the pre-draft process that who did Poles have watching film with him on offensive talent in the draft? He had Fields in there, which means that even if he doesn't respect his opinion, he's showing that he wants to respect his opinion on what he sees on the guys he wants to play around based on the offense that they have. So he's showing that, hey, we're going to give this kid every opportunity to be successful, maybe not fully this year, but we're going to do everything we can to protect him with pieces, as many pieces as we can throw out there. We got to throw guys out there in 100 different packages to see who can get open until we can find it. We're going to get him on the edge to run. We got the running back from Baylor, who's a great running back out the backfield, which gives us another guy, maybe a Duke Johnson type guy, who's like a mixture of a slot receiver and a running back. And we got Montgomery who can catch out the backfield.
Go ahead, SB. Go ahead, SB.
I'm saying I want me and Coach be going crazy back if I know everybody want to get in. But my whole point is this though: do you believe do he believe in Fields, or was it just a quarterback up to his level in this draft? Because this is the lowest we've seen quarterback goes in.
Hold on. C-Dub, answer that. Answer that, C-Dub. Hold on. Go ahead, C-Dub. Answer that.
I definitely believe in Justin Fields. You know what I'm saying? Because Justin Fields has all the tools. Plus, he has added extra skills. He can move with that ball. He can run. He runs like a running back. So I just think he needs the help to succeed in the NFL. And to this point, I don't think he has been given that help.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
Bobby, what you got for that?
I think everything with C-Dub is on point, man. You got to get this man a chance. Once again, I go back to Mr. Sun Visor, Matt Nagy. The man, it was terrible.
Mister, we had a great practice this weekend.
Yeah, we had, you know what I'm saying? We had a great practice, but then you come out and basically all the games that the Bears even had a small chance was just based on the talent of the guys that was on the field, because you already knew that this guy was not going to call a good game plan, because it's apparently from 2018, how the hell you go from having a good mobile quarterback who was competent at
that
least
defense.
That man went on ESPN and told the world my quarterback could not read the defense, and I knew it was over with.
Yeah,
even if I believe in you, even if I know that,
some people ain't built to be head coaches.
Some people are not. That guy is not a leader of men. He was trying to turn the man into a pocket passer.
Bro,
you know that it's not his game.
Matt Nagy was not a leader of men. He is not a leader of men. He proved it. The players who, bro, the hugest indictment on Nagy, not to go too far into Nagy, is how many players who have played under him as a head coach, not a OC or a quarterback coach, how many of these guys vouch for him, bro? The answer is none. Zero.
Andy Reid.
No. That's different. Because there's not a player who is not, if they're being politically correct, who are like, I didn't see the problem with Nagy. I thought he was outstanding in his game assessment and his game putting. None of them said that. They're either silent or they telling you you could tell they had issues with him. Just like no different than the Bears coach they had from Canada. Bro, there were so many. Trestman, there were so many. Bro, if you go back, there were so many players who had played for him when he was just like a OC or quarterback coach who be like, they said, Tim Brown said it. Guys who, when he was with the Raiders, said this is not a leader of men.
Man.
Bro, you have people who want to play for Eberflus, bro. They want to play for this dude.
You see how many indie players keep coming over?
Bro, they want to play for this dude. And I know it's a league and it's business, but your business is tied to your success. And if you don't trust a coach who put you in a position to be successful, he's not just hurting himself, he's hurting you and your money.
On the real.
If you had a 1-year deal, you ain't gonna come play for the coach who you know gonna put you in a position to where you gonna lose money again.
So let me ask y'all this. So C-Dub, so Dub, Bobby, Exports, whoever want to go first. What is the expectations for next year? The prediction for the upcoming season? What do y'all think? What is something that you specifically think predicting wise? It doesn't matter what it is.
Can we have a real take? Not speak for my fandom heart. Let's realistic.
No, I got you. I'll kick it off.
Go ahead.
The real thing, I'm not finna jump in here. Let's make it to the playoffs. No. The real thing is to see progression. You want to see a consistent offense. You want to see a coach that can make a damn adjustment within the game.
That's key. Say that for the people in the back.
Your game plan gets blown up. You want to see what the OC, adjustment can he make, and you want to just see a team that's gonna come out and play hard. Just make it fun. Don't have us out there watching Marsh come out here and do ninja kicks for 30 seconds. Come on, man. Let's be disciplined. People, real talk, and I'm gonna let y'all go. People were pissed at me because I'm like, bro, they like the officiating is horrible. Every sports league had problems with officiating, but that Bears team last year was undisciplined.
Facts.
Yes,
we need a disciplined team. Just give me that. Give me some fun, and that's what I want to see.
OG C-Dub, go ahead, man.
We're not looking forward to like going to the playoffs. That's not something I'm really looking forward to. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for progress. I'm looking progress first in Justin Fields. We need to get this guy going in an upward skill level. You know, to get work on his footwork, whatever y'all do to make a quarterback great. I want to see that defense. Since you put all that stock in that draft,
Right.
Let's see. That defense better show. Right? I don't want to see no taking baby steps with the defense. You decided to go and pick 2 defensive players pretty high in that draft. So let's see how that turns out. And I also want to see that offensive line, how that offensive line works out too. That's the only 3 things I'm really looking forward to see.
Okay, G. Walker.
I'll go last, man. Let the guests go do that.
Okay, Shaq, go ahead.
Well, me, I'm piggyback on what C-Dub said. I got to see progression because I don't expect. Now, I expect the Bears to probably finish last in division. If they finish anywhere higher than last, that's a plus. But it's not give or take because you finally got your pick back. Let's add some talent to this roster. But like you said, I want to see progression. Let's see, like, okay, this is a nice young team. Like, if they get a couple more pieces, they're gonna be nice. That's what I want to see. And bring the Bears defense back. Last year, there was a shell itself. Of course, we can argue that they was on the field too much, but that's been the problem for years. Let's bring back the real Bears defense. That's what I don't care. If we get, because it's crazy how everybody loves Jay Cutler now. Like, Jay Cutler he's the fan favorite all of a sudden.
I always love Jay.
Yeah, I don't know why I love him now, but whatever.
Cuddy, baby.
I'm finna go ride my bike, Chef.
But no matter who we have on the offensive end, the Bears is always built off that defense, bro. Bring back that Bears defense. You got the pieces. Get rid of Eddie Jackson. Like you said, you done put your stock into the defense where, we got a young quarterback, and this was a nice draft full of a nice couple wide receivers. Y'all could have made some moves and got one or just picked one, but okay. So we trying to bring back the Bears defense. So I want to see progression and a nice young team. I don't expect nothing win-wise. Like, I just want to see and usually with these young quarterbacks that we've seen, if a quarterback's going to be good, it's either from their second. If they not good, they second or third year, they've been bad. Every other quarterback we done seen, even Justin Herbert, I know I got the Chargers thing right here. He was good his second year. I think Josh Allen took his third year. Lamar Jackson made this move his second year. Patrick Mahomes, I think, was his
MVP second year.
Yeah. So we gonna know who Justin Fields is. If he's not showing some type of spotlight this year, then we gonna know what he is. So that's all I really expect this year.
All right. Look, I got expectations. I'm gonna go with what the OG said, Dub said. You took them defensive guys from week 1. I want to see them guys pass breakups, interceptions, hitting hard. I want to see everything. I want to see the system he got called hits. Hits? Whatever they got. I forgot the acronym, what it means.
It's kind of like what Lovie Smith was doing.
I want to see Flus, yelling at guys in training camp. I want to see Justin Fields, making better passes. Everything that these guys are marketed to be, what they drafted it to be, what their skill set should be. I want to see flashes. Look, we ain't got to see the whole thing. I just want to see flashes. Show me Jenkins, because the last 4 games of the season, I think Jenkins didn't allow any sacks. I don't think he allowed any sacks. And they moved Borum to the left tackle because he's big as a garage, man. So let's see how that works. All these things they doing, I just want to see it, make sense, and it just keeps progressing to what they think it should be. And this culture of no nonsense, tackling, hitting, running to the ball. That's it. CJ.
All right, actually, I'm going to let Coach go, and I'm going to go ahead and give my take, and then we're going to wrap it up.
All right.
You know me, we talking football, so I'm over here taking notes. So, all right. So I'm gonna keep it. I know I can go on and on about the Bears and football all day. So I'm gonna try to keep it as concise as possible. Bears had 11 picks. 4 of the 11 picks were on defense. That means 6 of the 11 picks were all offensive players. Now, if you take the punter in the 7th round, and the punter helps the defense, we could say 5 picks out of 11 were on defense. So the majority of the picks were specifically set up to develop to help Justin Fields in this offense. So I know they weren't the highest of picks for offense, but they still took majority of offensive players. What I want to see from the Bears this year is I want to see better play calling as far as flow of the game and how your play calling is leading into the fourth quarter, setting up big plays for your offense. And I want to see progression. I mean progression at all levels, even if it's from the guys who was the guy from the HBCU who was the guard tackle. If he's progressing, I want to see progression at all levels. And that means from the scouting department all the way through, hey, we saw a guy who's on a practice squad, and hey, they think about bringing him up because, hey, he's coming along faster. Also, from the defense, I want to see those turnovers, that hits policy you're talking about, because we don't turn the ball over enough. I don't think in 17 games, I don't think we averaged one turnover a game as the Bears defense. I expect this team, with the roster constructed now, not even finishing with the rest of free agency, which we could still pick up. We could pick up another guard, another tackle who can come in and start at the right tackle, because that's kind of where we're missing a person right now. We need a right tackle for sure. Mm-hmm. I see this team going 5-12, just giving a rough estimate on the roster constructed today, because this is not an 0-17 team. They're going. No. They have enough to get some wins based on the people they're going to play. The Lions are pretty sweet too. Here's an example that no one's going to like, but let's just think about this example. The Lions last year had the second pick. They were the second worst team based off schedule. But something that we talked about the Lions, about their coaching staff and biting ankles and biting kneecaps. They were in almost 90% of the games they played. They took several playoff teams to the brink of overtime. They almost beat a Ravens team. They almost beat a Steelers team. We could talk about how those teams were not playoff teams, but those teams have a pedigree of winning, and they took those teams to the brink in those games, and those were out-of-division games. Mm-hmm. And I want to see competition from at all levels. That means from running back, O-line, D-line, outside linebacker, because now we're running a 4-3 that's secondary. That's all the things I want to see. And it's a difference between watching a team lose a lot of games where you be like, damn, we never had a shot, just saying we may not have a shot, but hey, that third quarter looked nice. We got to put it together in that progression, because with all the young talent, yes, a guy like Gordon is going to get beat because he's a rookie. But it's how it's getting beat. Is he getting beat because of a lack of talent, or he's getting beat because he shouldn't be out there? Those are two different things. Mm-hmm. So that's what I will expect to see from this Bears team. And the effort and the way that they're talking, regardless of voluntarily being in camp, bro, it's voluntary. You ain't getting paid to be there, so they ain't going to be there. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
Great.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this. We saw the defense. We know that this team is going to be a defensive-minded team going into it. But I'm going to go back to what Coach said as far as the offensive lineman. We really have not solidified that whole offensive line. Yeah, we're relying on two second-year players to come in and fill in. And my whole concern is Justin Fields being out there and getting his head knocked in. You know, that's the thing that I worry about the most, because guess what?
Facts.
If he ends up getting hurt ACL, back, whatever it is, you're screwed going into through the season and possibly going into next season. And, you know, so again, I want to see Ryan Poles. He's supposed to be a offensive type of guy, offensive guard, whatever, tackle. I want to see what coaches
a guru. People be like a guru or something.
Yeah. Well,
no one used the word guru. No one used it wrong.
My bad, CJ. Go ahead, CJ. My bad.
I wasn't going to go that far.
No one ever called him a guru. No one ever called him a guru.
Go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, but my point is that, you know, I want to see what coaches they put around this offensive line, because we all know that was the worst thing. The worst thing going into the last several years of this Bears offense was the offensive line. So what coaches can you put around these young guys to develop them? What coaches can you make sure that the development is going in the right direction? Because we got a lot of question marks on some of these young guys. We got question marks on Cody Whitehair. We got question marks on whoever the right guard is going to be. So there's still a lot of question marks for that offensive line. So we haven't really solidified that offensive line. Yes, we got a lot of talent in the draft, but there are a lot of fifth-round guys that we don't know if they're going to actually be on this team or if they're going to be on the practice squad. So I just want everybody to keep that in mind. But my expectation for the Bears, I would like to see them go win 6-7 games, but I'm going to say 4 games. And the reason I'm going to say that, because there's a lot of unproven guys out there that have to come in and prove themselves. And I just can't get a team that just started out with a new regime with a whole lot of question marks. I can't give them the upper hand.
A whole lot of holes.
Now, if they come out firing and going guns blazing, they'll surprise the hell out of all of us, right? I mean, shit, we better sit back eating a piece of chicken and be like, oh, shit, what have we just seen? But, you know, it has to go, you know, the offensive line has to show me something. I've always said that's the foundation of the offense. I know the defense is going to do their part because they got a defensive minded coach. I want to see what that offensive line is going to do with Justin Fields because it has to start with that offensive line.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
It has to start with them.
Totally agree. Only why I think the Bears could possibly, because that's all I'm saying. Look at their schedule. I didn't know we played the NFC East this year.
Yeah,
boy, it's some lunch on that schedule. It's some food on that.
Feed me.
They might win more than 5 games just off the default schedule.
Remember, every season there's more turnover in the NFL than most pro leagues. So there's going to be, for all the playoff teams that made the playoffs this year, 4 to 5 of those teams are not going to make the playoffs. So the teams that who we think are not good, like they play the Dolphins. The Dolphins got better.
So we're going 13. All right, cool. Thanks.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. No. Give you the Dikembe finger on that one.
Take that.
What I'm saying is a lot of teams that were not good last year are going to probably be slightly better. So I still don't see them winning more than 7 games unless we can luck into some late season magic with some Fields magic or some defensive magic. But I believe we're going to be a kind of a bottom dweller type team because we got that first round pick next year, and if we win 7-8 games, that's not going to get us the first top 5 pick.
Yeah, we need that pick.
Yeah, but that first round pick, I can't.
But I've seen. But I know you're about to say, CJ. Just because you get a top 5 pick doesn't mean it's proven.
Right.
So it's still about development.
Right. Definitely. Well,
final
guys,
thoughts.
Guys, that's gonna wrap it up. I appreciate the Cognac Boys for you guys to stopping by. If you guys don't mind, shout out the channel, shout out to social medias. Let the people know where we can find you.
Hey. Just go ahead and hit us up at the Cognac Boys on all social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We there. Let's get it. Thanks for having us.
All right, C-Dub. Anything you want to add, C-Dub?
You guys are talent tonight. The show was fire. SB, thank you for coming on when you did, bro. It's always dope to see you.
Had to wake up, man. Gotta go to the station tonight. Gotta go to the
boy. Thank you for coming through, man. Y'all are very talented, man. We appreciate y'all talent and y'all time and y'all effort and y'all expertise and y'all talent, man. So
thank you.
Love man, right back at y'all, man.
Hey,
for
sure.
For sure.
We appreciate the great discourse and conversation tonight, man.
Hey,
yeah,
Coach.
We definitely gonna be getting you guys back up. Definitely gonna be hitting y'all back
Coach,
up.
change your name to Reverend. You be on here preaching that football, boy.
Reverend.
Hey, man.
Preach.
It's in my soul, man.
Playing behind him.
It's in my soul,
playing behind him.
Bro, it's in my soul.
Hey.
All right, fellas. Well, hey, thanks for coming by again. We appreciate y'all. You guys have a good night and take care.
All
right, bro.
Appreciate y'all, man.
I appreciate y'all, bro.
All right. All right, fellas. Well, we're going to get into these final thoughts because we're going to wrap it up real soon. But let's get into these final thoughts.
Man, I don't really have too much final thoughts, man. It's just everything about the bull season went like I thought it should go. Well, I have my expectations, but that's just my mind and everything based off ball movement, based off defense, based on what I like to see. But overall, it was a good season. New regime came and they got some guys in there that's gonna help us get to the playoffs in 5-6 years. It was cool, man. The season was cool. A lot of ups and downs, COVID and injuries, but every team is dealing with that. So, for us to come out on top still as a 6th seed, and we were trending towards the 1st seed when we got, it got rough, but we still made it. It's cool, man. So my final thoughts is just, hope we just keep making progress. That's the Bears and the Bulls, man. That's it.
Okay, Coach, go ahead, man.
Final thoughts, man. This has been I think I want to say I had a good weekend. This is our prime weekend, though you two don't know me personally, but this is one of my favorite weekends of the year, with the draft and with the adult industry convention called Exotica was this weekend. So I had 4 days off of work. I took PTO to enjoy both of these events that are something that I personally enjoy. And for a minute, your boy was trending on Twitter for about a day and a half. Besides that, I think I had a good weekend. Got to spend the second half with the fam. Definitely appreciate you brothers. Obviously, every week putting together an awesome show that I believe is growing steadily. I want to shout out to the fam, obviously. I want to shout out to anybody who tuned in today. Hopefully we got a couple new subscribers or people to view in who have some free time. And though I'm sad the Bulls lost, I honestly expected it, and it's time for us to take that next step. This team was put together for this year. It hadn't made the playoffs since 2017. So, we might have to get rid of a guy like Vooch and Kobe to package something. And with the Bears, man, I'm trusting in the process of Poles and Eberflus, man, that these two guys, they're instilling more faith than the other regime because slightly being more transparent and not acting like everything is cloak and dagger and FBI approved and we don't disclose this. Like, bro, like I get it, but it's not that serious, bro. You ain't good enough to be that secretive, Nagy and Pace. And other than that, hey man, bear down. You see me rocking it. See me rocking it. You know, because of the draft, bear down. I'm about to go watch some more NFL draft because, like I do almost every year since I was in middle school, I record the whole draft from beginning to end. Check out what we did. Check out what other teams did. Excuse me. And hey, shout out to Chicago Clubhouse Podcast, man. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday, and of course on Mondays. Hit that like button. Subscribe. We need the algorithm to target people toward us so we can get that viewership up.
Yeah, most definitely. Actually, Coach and Guy, I'm gonna need you guys to hang tight after the podcast. But I appreciate everybody who pulled in tonight. We had Bernard Scott on the podcast. He is my cousin. I had a lot of family members on this podcast. That's not gonna stop. I have many of cousins that do many of good things, and I'm going to continue that process of bringing them on to the platform and let them tell their story. You know, either way it goes, because I think when you guys hear these stories, it's pretty amazing what these guys, what these young men and women can do. So definitely, we're going to be having more people on the podcast as far as from my family. But everyone in the comment section who put comments in, thank you very much to Bernard's older brothers, Ahmad and Harold. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Really, I do. Big family support is a big, huge thing. Frank Marshall, again, man. I mean, you are a loyal supporter of the Chicago Clubhouse podcast network. Big time supporter. Appreciate you coming through. And I believe we had SB pulled through, came in with his comment. My sister came in earlier and was tuning in as well. I appreciate her. And I believe this must be my mother here. She must be watching the playback of the podcast. I know she's watching the playback from doing what she's doing. But I appreciate everybody from tuning in. And again, man, I love to do what I do. I love to bring people on here onto the podcast. Love to make people laugh. I love to entertain you guys. I just love doing all of that and being able to talk about sports is a big thing. So very, very pleased to be here and again to be up, moving around, talking about the things I love to talk about. It's a big thing. Actually, next week there will not be a podcast. I have some personal things that I have to attend to, personal things that I have to do. So I would definitely keep everybody in tune with that moving forward. But other than that, that's pretty much what I have to say. Appreciate everybody from the network. Appreciate everybody again for tuning in. I appreciate you two brothers for being on the podcast with me. Hey, it's been a hell of a ride. It's been a hell of a journey, man. And I'm just looking forward to the next things that I move forward and do. But other than that, we're going to say good night to you all. Please be safe out there. And we'll see you next time.